Yay! It's the last week of school! Woohoo! Today we're going to talk about a few things that you need to do with your classroom technology before you head out the door for the summer. So first up is backing up your data on your computer. Now you can do this a couple different ways. You can do it with a flash drive, which you can pick up pretty cheap at any retail store. Now it depends on how much data that you need to back up, but if you just have just a little bit, one of these could work for you. If you have a lot of stuff, you could get one of these that has a lot of storage. But if you're like most teachers, you probably want something free. And if that's you, the easiest way to go about doing that would be using a cloud storage solution like Google Drive. Now, what's unique about our Google Drive in the EVSC is we have Google Apps for Education, which means we have an unlimited amount of storage space in Google Drive. So my recommendation is doing that. Now, there is Dropbox and other places, but they don't always give you as much as you need, but Google Drive will probably be your best bet. So let's take a look at how to do that with Google Drive. Okay, so I've gone into my Google Drive, and over here on the left-hand side is my Google Drive window. What I'm first going to do is I'm going to create a folder in my Google Drive, and I'm going to call it My Computer Backup. Now, you can call it whatever you want. If you want to do this multiple years or maybe by date, it might be good to put the date on the folder, so that way you know how recent of a backup you have created. So, but I'm just going to call mine My Computer Backup and click Create. So now my folder's on the screen. I'm going to double click My Computer Backup. Now I'm in. Now I'm using Google Chrome, and the reason why I'm using Google Chrome instead of Safari or Internet Explorer or any other browser is Google Chrome allows for you to do the drag and drop. And it's a little bit more compatible. Now, some of the others, like Firefox, some of them may work with drag and drop, but Google Chrome, it's made by Google. So it's a guarantee that it will work with the drag and drop. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my, I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to bring in my Finder window, and I've selected my documents. If you're on PC, you would bring up a Windows Explorer window, like for the file manager, and locate your documents folder, okay? That might be where you want to start first. Now, you can't, from the sidebar, drag and drop a folder into the drop files here area. You're going to need to create another folder. So I'm going to go ahead and call new folder, My Documents. And then I've got a My Documents folder. Then I'm going to go inside that. And so now from here, I've got all my documents. I'm going to highlight them all. And then I'm going to simply drag and drop all the files into the window. And you'll notice down here at the bottom that there is a status window that'll pop up that will give you an account of how long it's going to take to upload everything. So you'll get a little reading on that. So while that's doing that, I can still go back to my main root folder, and I can add another folder, for instance, maybe pictures or videos. I've got some videos here I'm going to put into my Google Drive. I'm going to double click videos. I'm going to go back to my Explorer window, go to my movies. It's actually called movies here. I'm going to select them all. And then I'm going to do the same thing and drag and drop into the window. And you'll notice that as it's here on the screen, you'll notice that the window kind of has a blue outline. And then when I drop them, it will then update the status. As you can see here, I've got the folder that was in that window also going in. So again, Google Drive is probably your best option for doing a backup of your computer. And why do we want to back up? Computers do crazy things, and sometimes hard drives die. You might even, by the way, if you are moving to a different school, you probably want a backup of your stuff, okay? Because you can't take your teacher computer with you, okay? Now, you will be able to take your files with you, and we'll talk about some other things with sharing files and about Google Drive here in just a second. But it is your responsibility to make sure that you have a backup of your files at all times. Okay, let's talk about shared Google Drive folders and files. If you are an EVSC staff member that is leaving the EVSC or is retiring from the EVSC or even leaving a building and going to another building within the EVSC. You need to let the IT helpline know if this will affect any teachers and staff or schools that you may own files with, such as curriculum, units, lessons, and whatnot. Okay? Because the file's ownership really needs to change to someone else, or it can actually be changed. We have to a school account, which we already have set up downtown. What happens when a staff member leaves the corporation, their account is deleted. If they are an owner of any of those documents or files or folders, that stuff will be deleted as well, even though somebody else may be shared as an editor. If somebody's the owner and their account gets deleted, the file is gone. Okay? So, again, if you're retiring, you're leaving the EVSC, or maybe you're changing schools, if you own documents that are critical to the school's operation with curriculum and lessons and whatnot, make sure that you contact the IT helpline. You can either email at it.helpline@evsck12.com or call 1-8555 on the IP telephone. And then you can actually get that arranged on getting some of those documents and files transferred in ownership. So, or you can, if you just happen to remember and you know how to do this already, go ahead and make sure that ownership is transferred to somebody you know and you work with there at your school. But down here at the IT helpline, we have folks down here that are ready to help you with that if you need it. Another piece of technology that we have to store for the summer is the IP telephone that you have in your classroom. So if you are returning to your classroom or school building next year, keep the IP telephone in your building, okay, in the classroom or the room that you're going to inside that same building. If you are leaving to go to another classroom or to another school, then you need to turn your phone and all the charger base and cord into the office. Okay, the phones are not to leave the building. They are to stay where they are. You'll have a new IP telephone when you get to the new building if you are. Now, if you're retiring, make sure that you turn it in to the office. That way they have it, and another thing to check off your list. Another piece of technology teachers have is the Teacher ThinkPad. Teachers have the option of taking this laptop home with them over the summer to use to get ready for next school year. If they choose to not take it home with them, they need to make sure that it's powered down and properly stored in a safe place, maybe a closet, but make sure that you keep the power cord with it and have it locked up and safe so that way when you come back next school year, it's all ready to go. If you're retiring, make sure that you turn this equipment in either to the tech in your building or in the office and have somebody sign off that you turned it in. Teacher desktop computers need to stay in the school building and classroom where they are now. If a teacher is leaving to go to another school next school year, they will receive another desktop computer at that location. So it is not the teacher's responsibility to move a computer from one place to the other. If you need backup of your computer files, reference what I talked about earlier about how to back up your data, either using an external storage device or Google Drive. And before you leave for the summer, make sure that you power down your computer. And if you need to unplug anything, make sure that all the cords, keyboard, mouse, and all the other necessary equipment for the computer stay together. Please do not lock your mouse and keyboard in a drawer, because the techs do sometimes come into classrooms over the summer and run updates and check to make sure that things are working so that way they are ready to go for you at the start of next school year. Promethean. Your Promethean board has a lot of accessories. It has microphones, it has pens, it has remote controls, all this different stuff, and they all need to be gathered and put either in the original Promethean box that came with the board or a Ziploc bag. And on the bag or the box needs to have your room number written on it. So make sure that that is done so that way when you turn it into the office and you come back next school year, or whoever the teacher may be that comes and uses that classroom next school year, that they get all the equipment okay, that is for that classroom. So 2 teacher pins, 2 student pins, a couple remote controls. You have the pendant mic, the handheld mic, also chargers. So make sure that you have all that stuff. The Office of Technology will be sending out a list, so that way you know exactly what needs to be in that box or bag. So that way when you turn it in, you can check that off knowing that you have turned in everything that you need to. And schools are also responsible for having to pay for any items that may be damaged or missing. So please make sure that you get everything that you possibly can to help your school eliminate any extra costs. Thank you for watching today's episode. Don't forget to tweet us at #EVSCLunchLearn, and feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, EVSC ICATS on YouTube. I hope that you have a great summer, and we look forward to seeing you again on more episodes of Lunch and Learn.